Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm back with some more Dollar Tree Christmas DIYs. I'll be showing you how I make over 2 of the hanging signs that they currently have out in their store. By making the signs over, I was able to customize them to fit with the decor that I currently have in my home, and it was so inexpensive to do. So if you're looking for some really easy and inexpensive ways to add some more Christmas decor into your home, making these signs over is the perfect craft for you. If you guys enjoyed today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. It really helps out my channel. And also, let me know in the comments down below if there's any other Christmas DIYs you're wanting to see from me. If you guys want to see how I made over my signs, then just keep watching. For sign number 1, the materials I used were this sleigh-shaped hanging sign from Dollar Tree, an image printed on wax paper that I created on my computer, folk art chalk paint in the color Imperial and also in Java, Waverly chalk paint in the color Plaster, paintbrushes, burlap ribbon from Dollar Tree, jute, bells from Dollar Tree that I've already spray painted, scissors, sandpaper, my hot glue gun, painter's tape, and an old gift card. To start out, I'm using my sandpaper to sand off all of the glitter that was on this sign and any of the lettering that was a little bit raised. And luckily there wasn't too much glitter, it was just on the snowflakes and the writing that was on here, so I didn't have to sand over the entire thing. Once I had all of the glitter sanded off, I'm then painting on my chalk paint in the color Plaster on the main parts of my sleigh, and I did have to do 3 coats of this paint. After all of my paint has dried, I'm then taking some painter's tape and creating what would be wood slats on the front of my sleigh. The first piece of tape I'm placing down on the very edge, which I wish I would have started in the middle so my lines would have been a little bit more even. So just keep that in mind if you're going to be doing this. And I'm placing some more tape all along the entire front of my sleigh, leaving a gap in between each piece of tape. And here I'm repositioning some of the tape that I'd already laid down to make my slats a little bit more even. Next, I'm painting on my chalk paint in the color Java in between all of the spaces between my painter's tape, and I did only have to do 1 coat of this paint. Once all of my paint has completely dried, I'm then just peeling off all of the tape. And then I'm taking my Java colored chalk paint once again, and I'm dry brushing that around all of the edges of the sleigh that I have painted in that plaster color. This is going to give my sleigh a little bit of an age distressed look. And then I'm also painting that around all of the flat edges of the sleigh as well. Next, I'm painting on my chalk paint in the color Imperial on my bottom sleigh rails, and I did have to do 3 to 4 coats just because I had painted on some of that plaster color and I had to cover that up. After all of my paint has dried, I'm then very carefully placing down the image that I've printed on wax paper in the center of my sleigh. And I mean very carefully, because if I move the wax paper around at all, it will smudge the ink. And then I'm taking an old gift card and just pressing over all of the images that I have on the wax paper to transfer the ink onto my surface. I did create this image myself, and I'll have the printable image linked down below, and also if you're wanting to see a more in-depth tutorial on how I make my images to print onto my wax paper, I'll have that video linked down below as well. After I've gone over everything with a card, I do like to take the end of an old paintbrush and go over all of my lettering and my graphics. I think it helps press the ink into the surface a little bit better this way. You can always use like the end of a spoon, that works really great too. And also, if you are going to be doing the wax paper transfer method, just remember that any images that you use do need to be flipped when they're printed. Now that my image is all transferred, I'm peeling off the wax paper. Next, I'm creating my bow using this burlap ribbon from Dollar Tree, and I'm using a large piece of ribbon, a medium piece, and a small piece to create my bow. The medium and small pieces I'm going to be forming into circles, so I'm placing some hot glue on the end of the ribbon and then placing the other end of the ribbon on the glue to make a complete circle, and I'm doing this for the medium and small piece. Then I'm stacking all of the pieces of ribbon together and taking a piece of jute and tying it right around the middle. Next, I'm stringing 2 of these bells that I picked up from Dollar Tree onto a piece of jute. And the bells I did already have spray painted with the Rust-Oleum spray paint and oil rubbed bronze, and I had just already spray painted a bunch of them that I used in a previous video and had these ones left over. I'm taking those and tying them right on the very top part of my sleigh. Once I have those all attached, I'm then attaching my bow that I just made using some hot glue on the other side, and then cutting both ends of my ribbon on an angle. For the last step, I'm restringing my sign with some jute to create my hanger. And this is my sleigh sign all finished. I love the way that it turned out, and I can't believe how easy it was to create. And now moving on to sign number 2. For this project, I used this Joy tag-shaped sign from Dollar Tree, a flipped image printed onto wax paper that I created on my computer, Waverly chalk paint in the color ink and also in the color plaster, folk art chalk paint in Java, paintbrushes, jute, scissors, bells from Dollar Tree that I've already spray painted, and an old gift card. For this sign, I've just flipped it over since I'm going to be using the back side of this sign to make my new sign, and I'm just peeling off the tags that were attached onto the sign, and they were a little bit tricky to get off, so I had to take some of my sandpaper and sand off all of the sticky residue. Once that was off, I'm using my chalk paint in the color plaster, and I'm painting that all over my entire sign, and I did have to do 2 coats of this paint. Once all of my coats of paint have completely dried, I'm then taking this Java colored chalk paint and I'm dry brushing it around all of the edges to give it a distressed look. I'm also dry brushing that same color on the entire top surface of my sign, and I'm doing all of my brush strokes up and down, not side by side. And to give my sign a little bit more dimension, I'm using my chalk paint in the color ink, and I'm dry brushing that around all of the edges of my sign, and then also around all of the sides of the very front of my sign, kind of like I'm framing it with this black color. After I have everything all painted, I'm then placing my wax paper printout right in the center of my sign, and then using an old gift card to press all of my words and images right into the surface of my sign. This is going to transfer the ink onto my painted surface. I'm then using the end of an old paintbrush to go over all of my words and images, just like I did in the last transfer that I did earlier in the video. This helps press the ink in a little bit better, and you have more ink payoff this way, or at least I find that I have more ink payoff by doing it this way. And in case I forgot to mention, I did print my images on wax paper using an inkjet printer. Now that everything's all transferred, I'm peeling off my paper. Next, I'm stringing 2 of these bells that I picked up from Dollar Tree onto a piece of jute. These ones are also already spray painted in that Rust-Oleum spray paint and oil rubbed bronze. Then I'm just taking my piece of jute and re-stringing it through the pre-drilled hole, and then I'm taking the other end of the piece of jute and running it through that same hole. And to make it so that it doesn't come right out of the hole, I'm just tying 2 double knots to secure it. This jute is also going to be the hanger for my sign, so I'm just making another knot at the very top and then cutting off the long ends of the jute. And this is sign number 2 all finished, and this one's probably my favorite out of the 2. Both were really easy to create, and the wax paper transfer method has definitely been my go-to lately to create some really beautiful signs. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up and share it. If you're not subscribed, I would love it if you would subscribe, and be sure to hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of my future videos. I have lots more Christmas DIYs coming. If you have any suggestions on some things you'd like to see from me here on my channel, please let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching.